Okay. All right. Thank you and welcome to the new year, brand new year 2025. I got the ladies that are beautiful in here with the breast cancer and the resilience that we Black women have. And we have resilience, and everybody is beautiful on here. Anyway, I just want to come on here. I have some questions that I wanted to ask the ladies, and they're very important. So when I go for checkups, I get this questionnaire. I don't know if everybody gets a questionnaire. And within this questionnaire, they ask you questions, which I'm telling you because it's very important for you all to know. And the first thing they'll ask you is, how do you feel mentally about what you're going through? Anybody want to elaborate on how they felt mentally as you go through this journey?
Nobody? Okay. Well, mentally, for me, I think I carried a lot of worry and anxiety. Each time I go and, like all of us, they tell us, about these tests that we have to do, these annual or biannual checkups that we have to do. So that stayed with me far after I leave my appointments, and telling my doctor that I was suffering from real bad anxiety. Like, I'm so paranoid right now. Everything still feels like a lump to me, So that paranoia stays with me. The anxiety, I can feel like my body like itching inside, and it just, I don't know, it gets moist. And then what else? Sometimes it gets like so bad, I give myself headaches. Those headaches, it seem like they just won't go away until I let it go. So I just have to take a couple breaths and just, release some of this baggage that's dropped on me.
Okay, anybody else? Tisha,
Uh,
Tamika?
I'll say that going through my journey, like I haven't started getting the annual exams just yet. I guess that'll start for me like next July. But just going through just going through my breast cancer journey, I felt a lot of different emotions. I was definitely mentally exhausted. Everything just kind of it's like a whirlwind, when you get caught up in trying to figure out what's next. Um, I know like my anxiety is already really bad, so I'm a worry wart, and I tried really hard not to worry and not to stress about things that I couldn't control. Um, it's just you just have to find your happy place, I guess, and try to stay in that. Like I found myself like trying to be positive and do all the things that I like just to, try and take away some of that anxiety, to focus on different things, my family and just whatever I could. Um, I started seeing a behavioral health therapist to, kind of get that off my chest so that I could have someone outside of my family to talk to. And I feel like it's helped me. Um, yeah.
It does help. I had a social worker, so she would talk to me. She ditched me after a while, but hopefully she won't hear this. But but I do have a social worker. Tamika, how did you feel mentally?
Same here about anxiety. I'm not at the yearly checkup yet. I'm still in the 3 months, 6 months, 9 month phase. So this actually is the longest I've been without doing the checkup. We are at the 9 month stage, and it is anxiousness because I was so used to 3 months and 6 months. So that long 9 months of just waiting, because even when I recently just did my appointment for my scan, that's when I noticed. I'm like, oh my God, I thought it was in February and it's not till May. So I got very anxious, like, okay, what am I making sure it's nothing you really can do to, how should I put this? Like she said, Tish said about what's in your control and what's not in your control. The only thing you could do is just pray on it. Also, seek counseling. Yes, I do have my own personal counselor as well. And that are some of the things that we discuss, amongst other things, but we definitely discuss that. And just try to stay positive and live day to day. Because if you live for tomorrow and worry about tomorrow, then you won't be able to be in the presence of the day. So
Right.
that's what I try to do, is just stay as positive as possible and try to live day to day and be present in that day.
All right, Chanel, you?
No, Chanel just listening in today.
Oh, okay. Oh, Brandy, you can unmute yourself. The question was, how did you feel mentally when you found out you had breast cancer? How are you handling this mentally? No.
Um, Hi, good evening, everybody.
Everybody, this is Brandy.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Brandy.
Hi. Mentally, I think I felt lost because um it was, sorry, my daughter won't stop
It's
talking.
okay.
But it felt like it felt like um for the first time in my life I had no control over anything. And like, given the fact that I had a parent that died from cancer, I was like, well, this isn't supposed to happen now. It's supposed to happen later if it were to happen. I just felt so helpless, hopeless, scared, and I just felt like there was nothing, you know, I hate to say nothing to live for, but nothing more to be done in my life.
No, I understand. Did you get a counselor or a therapist or?
Yeah, I did. A few months after the diagnosis. I wish I started earlier, but I was in that mindset because it was stage 4. It was like, well, I'm not going to be here long anyway, so there's no point of even doing, you know, what needs to be done, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand. And I got one, let me see. After I got frustrated, that's when I went and got one. Okay, I was telling them, Brandy, that when I go to the doctor for my checkups, they send me a breast cancer survey. And they ask these questions, and one was the mental one. Then the next question they asked on this survey was, when you look in the mirror, how do you feel? How do you look to yourself? When you look in that mirror,
Whew.
because I'm saying that because I didn't know to look in the mirror until the radiologist asked me, did I notice something different?
Mm.
And I was like, no, I look the same. And she was like, you don't notice that one breast is bigger than the other? And it was then I became subconscious of this deformity in the body. It was a deformity. It wasn't the same. The clothes, they didn't look the same. And then when I look in there, I noticed that this side is small, this side is up. So I'm just wondering, how did you look in the mirror and really look at yourself?
Um, I look in the mirror almost every day and it just does not look like me. I mean, from the weight gain, from the low estrogen to the asymmetrical breast, it does not look the same. When I first got them, I was quite pleased with them, and then going forward, as they dropped and fluffed into place, it's kind of like lopsided. And then, I look at I only had breast cancer on one side of my breast, but I had to get um, uh, the nipple removed on the other one too, and I think the one that didn't have breast cancer looked worse than the one that did have breast cancer. I'm like, so this one has more scarring than the other one. So that have always bothered me. And then it just seemed like I don't smile as often, and I'm starting to see these little frown lines. I'm just always like just criticizing myself and just wanting to be back to the old me. I'm still looking for that normalcy. And that's why, taking us back to the other question, I put myself in this self-induced hibernation to kind of focus. It felt like breast cancer was really becoming me. I had to withdraw from the website, Instagram, just to take a step back and reflect on myself and do what I can for me. These are things that I have somewhat control over, although I sought additional help to help me get this weight off of me. But I just don't feel like me. So that's what I see in the mirror. I don't see me.
Okay, Tisha.
When I look in the mirror, I'm not I'm not happy with what I see. Like when I see it, it's just, I had a bilateral mastectomy. I have cancer in my right breast, and with me having a bad gene, I had to make the best decision for me. So like I see my scars and the protruding of the implants and things, and it's just like Zainab said, it's just not me. Um, I try not to compare how I used to look to how I look now, but it's difficult. I'm not used to seeing myself this way. It just makes you think, how could this happen to me, or why did this happen to me? Like, yeah, the gene, it runs in my family, but nobody's had it. How could I be the only one? So it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to learn to love myself where I'm at now.
Okay. Tamika, what about you?
I'm getting more comfortable again with myself. At first, when I had my double mastectomy, I was in a space of what did I do to myself? Because when I made the decision, it was based on the research, not necessarily the genes, but the research of triple negative, the high chance of reoccurrence, um, me knowing people who have had it in one breast and they had either a lumpectomy or single mastectomy and it came back in the other breast. So that decision that I made was based on research of what's the best thing for me to do with the breast cancer that I have. When I had my nurse navigator for the hospital and for my insurance, they all said, do not look at myself right after the surgery. They said, just give yourself some time. Didn't take that advice. I looked at myself right after the surgery and it was just like, oh my God, I did a botch job. What did I do? What did I do? And then I started going into, after I had the deep flap, then it became where it was noticeable more that, okay, your breasts are different from what they were before. And then after that, once I got the the reconstruction and the different changes, then it's okay, I didn't do nipple sparing because of what I was told. And so it's like, okay, let me do the nipple tattoos. Did the nipple tattoos and it was like, still don't look the same. So I'm a tattoo person. So recently I just got my scarring tattooed over. And I mean the whole entire breast and the deep flap area. And I'm starting now to feel more confident. But it took 2 years for me to get to that point. Because every time you look at yourself, all you could think of is, okay, I amputated my breast. This is what I look like. I have a mate. This is what he sees. So if I can't even be comfortable with myself, how is he comfortable with me? And all those things was running through my head. He never said anything was wrong, but that's what was here in my head. So I had to
My
get
next, that's my next question.
it was the mental here for me to
Right.
get confidence in myself or what I needed. And so, like I said, after the tattoos, I'm now getting more comfortable with my body. The new Tamika, because it's not the same Tamika, it's the new Tamika.
Right.
Yeah.
And Brandy, how about you? How did you feel You know, when you look in that mirror, what did you see?
I saw it's weird. I saw that as a I saw it as a way that I saved my life. Like when I look at myself like battle scars. So I wasn't too upset because I had my son 2022 and wasn't happy with my body. And then I got pregnant again with my daughter and I never got to recover from that
Oh,
trauma of, this new body. And then this happened and I'm like, okay, well, what now? So originally the doctors didn't want to do surgery. They said it was pointless because of the stage. And then, my one doctor had advocated for me. And, I was really happy about the surgery. And, afterward, even though it didn't look like myself, I was so much happier than I was with my body after I had my son. I know that sounds really weird, but I just saw it as a blessing. Like as Tamika said, this is the new Brandy. This is my new body, my healthier body. I'm healed, healthy, and whole now.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Okay, next question. All right, what was the next question? When it comes to like romance and stuff, how is that in the department of having this new body, you know? Because as I spoke with my sister Zainab, she explained to me that you don't have any sensation up here anymore. So it
Well,
all disappears.
right. Well, when it comes to intimacy, I have not experienced that yet. You know, my man is in Africa, West Africa, and I'm trying to wait before I go over there to, get past my treatments, although I'm going in July. But for me, I don't, my breasts, they just feel numb. You know, there's no nipple sensation or all that is gone. So I just don't even feel the need to take my bra off. I mean, if someone was to try to pleasure me in that, I'm not going to feel anything. So I just feel like it's just a waste of time. I'll take off everything else, but leave the bra on. I'm just not happy with them yet. Tamika, I want to ask you about that nipple scarring.
Mhm.
I mean, the tattoo revision. So
Mhm.
did that completely cover up the scar or camouflage it?
It covered up the whole scar. The first I started with the areola tattoo, and it didn't cover. It only covered up, of course, the
The
nip.
nipple
The
area.
area where I didn't have nipples. But the actual tattoo artist, Ren, she took. She with the consultation we discussed what I liked and what I wanted. And when we started, she asked me, did I want to go over the areola tattoo? And I said no, because that's a part of my journey. I want to go over it and around it. So she made sure that all the scarring, even where my line that looked like an eye for my area where they cut me, it literally looked like a smiley face. Before anything was going on with the tattoos, I had a smiley face. I had two eyes. My um, navel was the nose, and the line from hip to hip was the smile. So, so now it is completely gone because she covered everything, and the sensation when I did the nipples, you could feel it, but I didn't feel it a lot. But what I did feel, Miss Shira, she said that's a good thing that you could feel it because she tested it first, and she said, "Do you feel it?" I said, "I don't feel nothing." And then once she started, I said, "Oh, I feel," I just like, "Oh," and she said, "Oh, you can feel it now." I said, "Yes." She said, "That's a good thing. That means your feeling is coming back." When I was doing the regular tattoos, I did notice that part of my right breast where the tumor was, all of my sensation has not came back yet. Some of the areas where she was tattooing, I could not feel it at all.
Well,
So
I
it's
go
a
like this. I just feel
possibility that the
Mhm.
sensation does come back?
Yes,
Oh, so
yes.
it's not numb all the time.
Not all the time.
It's
And
just
it's
a matter of time for when it does come back. Oh, okay.
how far out are you, Tamika?
I'm this year be 3 years.
Oh, it's 3 years for me in
Hmm.
March, but all I do is feel my nails going over, but there's no nothing.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because of the needling, that it with the tattooing, or I just, if I touch myself, I
Mhm.
can feel it, but I don't feel it. But when those needles hit it, and then I'm like, okay, I can feel it. I can feel it because we did no numbing cream, no anything. I had 4 sessions, and because I couldn't take it, I could take it. That was
Oh,
with the actual tracing it in and coloring it in. I couldn't take it, and
oh, Zainab, look at that.
she did a massive piece.
Well, I don't got that much
Yeah.
scoring to do. I think I'm gonna just put some numbing cream on me and just get it over with.
Right. That's why I told her, she said, you did good without numbing cream. I said, you didn't offer any. I said, if you would have offered some, I would have took it. But she said, but you did well. Now I was surprised that I did that well, because I said, my God, just, if it was bigger, then it really would have been, but it took 4 sessions.
Dr. Quill.
Yeah. I took well.
Hey.
Brandy, that's Tequila. Tequila, that's Brandy.
Man, how you ladies doing? Look, I was still driving. I'm like, I'm gonna get on, even though I'm driving. I'm getting on.
Okay, Tisha, you had double mastectomy?
Yeah.
Do you have
Um,
any feeling in your breasts?
I can feel my skin, but
Mhm.
like Zayna said, it still feel numb. There is like a portion under my arm or like under my right arm where I can't feel anything, but for the most part, it just feels numb.
Oh, but you're newly out, so.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years since my surgery in April.
Okay.
Oh, okay. And what about you, Brandy? Brandy, you gotta unmute yourself.
I know I'm trying.
Tell your baby we
So
said hi.
I apologize. I do have minimal sensation. I can feel pressure and dull touch, but not light touch on the left side. But all of the sensation on the right side from my reduction is intact.
Okay. Tequila, hi. You missed 2 questions. The one,
I
one was about
know.
your mental state.
Oh, is it
And
is it a ranking between 1 and 10? No, I'm just kidding.
is a rank between when you found out and how you going through this mentally.
Uh,
Mentally.
every day is a challenge. That's what I will say. Every day is a challenge. I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes it's even a challenge. But it's up and down. Even when I see the things that the ladies are dealing with in our chat.
Right,
But overall, it's one of those things you just kind of, I guess, you find the level of greatness or just, gratefulness to say the least.
right.
And that is what takes maybe a day that starts off as this is a high 7, you know what I mean, of like anxiety and nervousness. And just, I don't know if I'm just drained at some points mentally. And I just say, hey,
Mm-mm. No. Uh-uh. She froze. Tequila, you froze. Uh-uh. I
it's a
guess
new
you,
day.
okay. Okay, the other question was, when you look in the mirror after you've had your breast surgery, how do you see yourself? What do you see?
Oh,
Yeah.
so I think I heard most of you say you've had reconstruction. So I'm not there. That's why I was at the doctor today. I am getting ready to be determined if I can have reconstruction.
Okay.
So I had a single mastectomy.
Okay.
It's still real weird for me in that area. I could tell like my body is trying to wake up out of that numbing space. They took out everything for me on the right side, and I didn't do anything to the left side. So it's kind of awkward looking at times, even though I'm not a busty woman, having that one breast left.
Oh, okay.
But overall, I'm okay with it. I think because I feel like, I'm just glad they took out all of the quote unquote bad parts,
Right.
is where I'm at with it right now. I'm looking forward to the reconstruction. But I'm nervous because I'm thinking about doing a deep flap.
Mhm.
And I'm just only nervous of the capacity of how much has to happen. They removing one and then doing reconstruction on everything.
Mhm.
But I've had 4 C-sections, so I'm not like worried about pain or anything. But just I guess you kind of seen some of these ladies I've seen, they've been kind of butchered to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
don't let that discourage you.
I don't think it
Mm,
will because I'm
mm,
looking forward to what I think and I pray that's like closure over it, if that's a word to call it.
mm,
So I'm excited. Even though I have seen some bad, results from some
mm,
ladies, but and what's funny, those people who I do see that they're actually in really good, healthy mental spaces.
mm,
So that leaves me very optimistic about it. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that if nothing else, I guess the biggest thing that I could say is I want to have the option to say no. I don't
mm,
want them to say no, you can't do it.
mm.
And I
Right.
think I'll be good at that point.
Okay, now back to Tisha about sexually,
Mhm.
how do you feel? You feel sensuous and
No,
no?
no. And my partner is here. I'm not there yet. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not there yet.
Was your partner accepting of this?
Yes, very accepting of like my whole journey is me. I don't know, like I felt like my body was butchered, and I'm just like, oh my God, ain't nobody gonna want me. You want all the dramatics. So I
I
don't
think
know.
we all go through that where,
I'm like, I'm
you
good keeping to myself right now.
right. And I only had a lumpectomy, so I don't know how you feel, but I know I felt that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My body was altered. And then when I'm
Mhm.
looking it up, it was called a partial mastectomy and a lumpectomy because
Mhm.
it took a lot of it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I still look in that mirror and I'm like, damn, you know. How about you, Tamika?
Ooh,
I
like
think
I
you got it
said,
going on. I don't think you have no problem.
I'm just getting back to Tamika. I mean, it was hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. Just like Sister said, it's us. It's not necessarily our partner. Um, I've heard horror stories of couples where the partner just couldn't deal with it, but we are the blessed, lucky ones that it's not our partners, it's us. And until you get mentally here, it's always here. It's never here. It's always here.
Right.
To get that intact, then you start feeling more sensual. You start feeling more, connected. Start feeling yourself. And that's like I said, I'm starting to feel myself.
I
So
hear you. What
starting to
about
feel
you,
myself.
Brandy?
Uh,
Brandy, how about you?
yeah,
Your husband, was he okay with the fact that you had breast cancer?
he wasn't okay with it. I don't know. It was something that almost broke us, but
Oh,
it definitely brought us closer together.
okay.
Yeah, it brought us closer. And with me just having a brand new baby, it was like, we met each other one way. We basically like grew up together into this relationship, and none of us expected this to happen. But um, he's very accepting now, of course. He don't have a choice at this point.
No,
But
no,
he's
no. You got those two babies there. He don't have a choice of choice. How
yeah,
about you, Tequila?
Um, it's challenging. It definitely broke us. And every day is I don't know how to call it, but you know, I think that I guess the whole sensual and all that stuff, the mental part of it, yeah, is done in that space because of it being broken.
Mhm.
And it's because of
So
we break it. We broke it. Because we don't
yeah.
look in that mirror and we don't see that we're still beautiful.
Mhm.
You know?
Well, and see, for me, it wasn't just one sided. Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't one sided. It was a bit more than what was anticipated.
Mm.
And
And I
but
know for
going forward now, we have to look in the mirror and see
hmm
that beauty within.
definitely,
And
definitely.
I'm vain, okay? So no matter what, I was always beautiful. I will tell you.
Mm.
I
That's
only time I wasn't beautiful is when I lost this.
And you are beautiful.
Yeah, but
Yes.
I did not feel
Yes.
that way
But
because
you okay,
you know
right.
why? Because I was vain, and
Mm-hmm.
my mother always used to tell me, "Vanity is thy name," because I
Mm-hmm.
was like to look in the mirror, and she was like, "What are you looking at?" I was making sure every hair was in place. She thought it was makeup. No, it wasn't makeup, it was hair. And I was
Mm-hmm.
making sure. So when I lost it, it just did something to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to an event at church and I had to take that wig off. That's when I had the wig.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, don't put that wig back on no more. You look much better with the bald head.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going bald. The hair grew back, and I thought I was saying something. Then I started taking those that letrozole, and the hair fell out. And I was like, you know what? I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I remember my son used to always tell me when he was little, "Mom, you would look good with a bald head." I was like, whatever. Yeah. So I just rocked the bald head, and that's it. And then I had alopecia. So here it is. You have hair growing back, and you have alopecia on the side. So you know that was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's what I wanted to really get on here and ask, about your mental state, and just to encourage you all that you're all beautiful. Even when you don't see your own beauty, you got to look in that mirror and say, I'm beautiful every day. God puts us through these detours, but we can get out of it because we have to change our mindset and we can't let other people bring us down. So for me, I stay away from negativity, period.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anybody negative around me. I just remove myself from the equation and I just go on. So that's what I really wanted to say. And I wanted to tell you all that you can thank Ms. Zainab for
Mm-hmm.
doing such a lovely job of bringing you all together
Thank
because
you,
I
Zainab.
told her what I wanted to do, and she got you all together. So I thank you, Sister Zaynab. I
You are
appreciate you.
most welcome,
And
Sister
Sequilla,
Francis.
Mm-hmm.
you said something that my son said to me. Remember that first one, and you said that this was a legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Sequilla, you can hear me?
oh
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Oh, I'm like
you.
me. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Remember
I'm
when you
sorry.
said that this would be a legacy for
It
your
was.
kids?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other day I was driving my son and he was like, "Ma, I'm so proud of you with these podcasts because if anything ever happened to you, I can always hear your voice again and I could see you." So I
That's
wanted to
good.
thank you for that because my son is the one that he made that. And I said to
Makes
Quill,
sense
you
to
said
you.
the same. It didn't make sense to me because he used to make fun of me. He was like, "Oh, you doing this podcast? What are you gonna talk about?"
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but this is, he knew I was talking about breast cancer because he didn't want me to say anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know. He never wanted me to say anything. He was like, don't tell everybody. I said, if I don't tell them,
Mm-hmm.
they won't know, and I might not be able to help them with what I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
I just told the story and I tell it all the time. I mean, I don't like talk about it every day, but if I encounter somebody that needs to know, then I will talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I send them to this podcast so they can listen to the different stories. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe they'll hear other women and their stories. So
Tell them to
thank
just buy my book.
Oh, I don't have it upstairs today.
Come on.
I don't have your book up here today. Your book
I'm
downstairs.
not talking about these ladies. I'm talking about everybody else you encounter.
I did. I do make mention of your book. I do tell them to buy your
Thank
book.
you.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to an event and I have to get some so I can sell them.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah.
mhm.
But anyway, I am going to end this. What time is it? It wasn't too long. Tequila, I'm sorry you didn't come on sooner, but you can always go back and hear it.
No problem at
Yeah.
all.
And you
Glad to
know,
make it
it's
a little
it's
bit.
it's nice if you all would come up with some ideas too. You know, I,
Yeah.
I I'm I'm open to ideas, and if you want to do a one-on-one podcast to tell your story, just you and you by yourself, I'm open to that. That's why it's called the unexpected detour, because we
That
all
would be
have
good.
these
Yeah.
detours that we went through, and yours is different from mine. Everybody's detour is different. It's a
Mm-hmm.
matter of how you handled it. How did you come out of this detour?
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that
that's
would be
in,
good, honestly, because I think that was what was interesting for me. Like when I had first started this journey, it was hard for me to find women of color.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
That and not only that, it wasn't just women of color. I guess I'm not considered young, but just younger women that I felt were relatable to what I was dealing with and what I
right.
was going through. Sometimes just as humans, we kind of got that. Oh, my bad, y'all. That light broke me out. Just as women, we have that, kind of like, oh, wait a minute, we look like we vibe, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing. So I got to be honest, when I seen Zainab's pictures, because she didn't have any, videos or anything on her site, I was like, oh, this lady looked like I'm related to her in
Mm-hmm.
ways. And it wasn't directly with me, but it was like she just reminded me so much of my family. And I'm like, wait a minute, she didn't been through it this long, and it just helps you to see the other side. And
Right.
that's the biggest thing is that when you first start this process, there's so many negative connotations that are surround breast cancer. And I didn't have any examples that I was even aware of that was the other side of it. I only knew that I'm on this side, and all I'm thinking is I'm finna die.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yep.
didn't know people
Yep.
who had already grew their hair back and had already had their breasts put on and, were already in new relationships,
Mm-hmm.
new marriages, and
Yeah.
had babies. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just like, oh, geez, all I heard is all I think I knew is you had breast cancer. And the cancer part is all I knew because I
Yes.
had
Sound
negative
like me, because that's
connotations.
what I said. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about this breast cancer.
Right.
All I knew is you had breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
4 stages. The fourth one was the metastasized, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. I
Yeah.
never knew about grades. I didn't know about the subtypes, nothing.
I didn't even know it came back.
Yeah.
I thought that you took. I'm like, they like you. You may get your breast because I'm like, oh, if the breast is the problem, oh, they can't have them. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that was going to be a end all, be all thing.
Right.
So it's very interesting. I think, like, even when you all were talking about that drug earlier today, it's crazy to me how much I personally kind of resent social media, but it's for things like that that I really do. I can't help but to embrace the information age that we live in and
Mm-hmm.
see how people are utilizing different drugs and repurposing drugs to help with a situation. Because, like I said, that particular drug that we were talking about in the chat, I use it for my daughter for PCOS.
Oh,
And I use what is the melatonin. I take 300
Mm-hmm.
milligrams of melatonin every night to help with my sleep issues, and because those are things that help work against the being on the accestamine. But I mean, like these are all things that I've definitely found to be helpful from like being a
you
part of this
take
information.
esomeprazole?
Yes. Ugh, hate that stuff. But it's
Mm-hmm.
not the
How
end of
does
the
your
world.
body feel?
You know what? I gotta be totally honest with you. So this is why I do think it would be cool to do one-on-ones, is because I had weight loss surgery 2 months before I found out I had breast cancer.
Oh,
Wow.
So I went through a huge transition in the midst of having breast cancer. I lost 170 pounds. So
Mm-hmm.
and it was on purpose because that's what I feel all my energy is. So I gotta be honest with you. I feel better than I have ever in my life
oh,
that
that's
I can
awesome.
That's
That
awesome.
is
Good.
great.
Yeah.
so,
That's
but now
great.
my
Really
face,
good.
on the other hand, feel like I'm like a 12-year-old with the
Mm-hmm.
acne and
Is
the,
that from the
That's
the
esomeprazole?
hormonal.
yes.
Yes, that's all hormonal.
Yeah,
I will
that's
Mm-hmm.
say
hormonal.
that your girl be a little dry and weird and things like that. And I'm just like, does she work anymore?
Do
Now? I
you
don't even know.
use the vitamin C serum? That helps.
Okay. I just started to feel like I needed to treat this like it was hormonal. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
now getting
Well, my
on.
son had me using vitamin C, so
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
just got
he
on
thinks
some
he's the
active.
doctor.
Well, when
Prior
your
to
estrogen, when your ovaries are gone and your estrogen is suppressed because it is a letrozole and nastrozole, I mean, your body do all kind of weird things. I mean, I'm going through clitoral atrophy. My
Mhm,
vagina is like a virgin. Like I'm
mhm,
terrified to have sex again. The weight gain is I still have the cloudy head. I'm like, oh my gosh, when will this go away? The forgetfulness
exactly.
is my place. I mean, my head is all over the place. That's why I have to put myself in this little hiatus and, take a step back, and I love being there and, inspiring other women with my page, but I just needed to take a break. It felt like breast cancer was becoming me. I
mhm,
want to come out of this funk and get on with my life. Like the last three
Hmm.
years have been nothing but breast cancer.
That's why I
mhm,
can only do this once a month. That is
mhm,
why.
Yeah.
And I ain't
It
gonna even lie,
caused me
no,
to.
that's I turn off the text that we have
mhm,
because I'm in so
Oh,
many
you
like
turn
groups.
yours off. Okay.
I do, and I will go and periodically go look at it when I have that space to be able to say, "Oh, I don't want this to emotionally trigger me."
Right.
mhm,
Because one of the young ladies in our group, and I can't remember her name, she wear a lot of pink, young light skinned lady. I think she's
Oh,
18.
64.
Angie.
mhm,
And
Angie.
like I've been following her, I've been watching her.
mhm, mhm,
So to see her going through what she going through, like that was like a drop on for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
mhm,
I feel like sometimes this stuff it can trigger me in a way, and I don't want to have that type of anxiety associated. So I go when I'm in a good headspace and go look at the text threads.
That's
But
what I
I
do
can't
too.
be alerted
Yeah.
because if I'm alerted, I'm always be like, oh God, it's the group. What they
mhm,
said, who hurt,
mhm,
who's sick, who this, who that. I ain't even really say nobody names by numbers because I just don't wanna like even know sometimes. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Who is really going through something. But of course, when I went through today and I'm skimming, I'm like, oh, I know that drug. You know what I mean? Like I love to be able to chime in when I can, but emotionally, I definitely am still dealing with the trauma trigger of breast cancer,
mhm,
what comes
mhm,
with it, because
mhm.
it's a lot.
Yep,
It's a lot, and it's
It's
Yeah.
it
scary.
is.
It
It
definitely
is.
is.
I'm 7 years and I still deal with that trauma.
Yeah.
So that's why I can only limit this to that once a month. But I'm willing to do one-on-ones with anybody that wants to do the one-on-one.
Hmm.
I can do that, you
Mhm,
know.
Yeah, I
Where
think
it
that
could
would
be
be
just
good
you
to
and
be a good
I, and you could
catalog.
tell me your story.
I think
mhm,
that would be great a great addition for like the whole catalog of this
mhm,
because you would be able to have that more in-depth, intimate scenario that will help you to build upon, like you said, like what like we brought up about having that legacy and just knowing because it's another breast cancer thing that group that I see online and they're all they do that. They have a one-on-one with a young lady and they tell their little scenario. And it's just
mhm,
interesting really seeing how some people's journeys like sometimes it's like really great happy ending, even if they are deceased. You know what I mean?
mhm,
And in
mhm.
some ladies' scenarios, you just like, man, this really helped me to know what to look out for.
Right,
You end up
right.
in that scenario because you can see the medical abuse that happens in
Mhm,
situation. So it is really good to be able to call a thing, and you don't know you in the middle of a thing dealing with all of the whirlwind that come with this stuff.
mhm, mhm. That is
Yeah.
true. That's true.
And we as Black women, we don't get all that coverage as we should. Like I told Zainab, it seems like if you're famous, you're gonna get some coverage, you know. It
Yeah.
only becomes the thing when it's a popular person who
Yeah.
has this thing that you have. Oh,
Mhm.
now we know about it. But
Mhm,
regular people like us, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
mhm,
It doesn't, it's like we're just discarded, you know. Oh,
mhm,
these women had it, so what? But that's what it feels like. So
mhm, mhm.
They're not getting paid or getting views off of it. They're not thinking about us.
That's
Right.
true. That's true. And I think with the last time we talked, I had told y'all about a gene that I had found out my sister had. Um, and it was cousin to BRCA.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's funny because I had to now go back, and now I'm having to question my own genetics. And it's just like y'all said, if they ain't making no money, you won't know anything about it.
yeah.
Right.
And here I am, 2 years almost into the game, and now I got to do a renewed genetic testing because
Yes.
it's a whole new gene that's a cousin to BRCA that is a marker for breast
Yes.
cancer.
Wow.
Yes.
Come on, now, y'all get on my
Don't you have that, Tisha, right?
Yeah, the BRCA too. I
Oh,
do.
And see,
well,
I
you
don't have the
better
BRCA. It's
get
called
together.
what I have.
You
Well, I don't even have. I don't know that I have it, but it's called BRIP, BRIP. It's a cousin to BRCA,
know.
BRIP one
Rip.
and BRIP two,
Hmm.
BRIP.
Mm.
So if it's a BRIP one and a BRIP two, and they actually help BRCA, or like it regulates BRCA, but they're
Mm.
cousins or ugly sisters. I don't know what to call it.
Wow.
However, it affects your
Yeah, I see it. The BRIP mutation.
yeah, it
Gonna
affects your
look
The
into
other
it.
uterus.
pieces, the ovarian and
Correct. But it's
fallopian
slowly
tube
starting to
cancer.
come out that they're like, oh yeah, we see this increases your chances for breast cancer now.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And it just kind of depends on what kind of digging you do. But and so when here I am, I found out in December 22, I got genetic testing. It wasn't a part of my genetic testing. So now I got to do it all over again
Do you
Yeah.
still
because
have
that's
your
another gene.
ovaries?
Yes, I do still have my ovaries too. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
I got
Hmm.
my uterus and my ovaries.
Yeah. Me too.
Me too.
Me
I
too.
had mine removed 2 months before I was diagnosed.
Wow.
But
So now I gotta probably do
Brandy
it.
just had a baby, so
Mm.
right,
Crazy, crazy,
Brandy?
crazy.
Brandy got a new baby. Well, she's not new. She's about 2, right, Brandy?
She's one.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
she's
new
what?
baby for
She's
sure.
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
That's
is.
a new baby.
Yeah, she's tall for
Wow.
one. Okay. All right, so I'll have to put this in there when I finish and let people know about this new thing.
Grip.
Rip.
Yeah, because I gotta because you said you had yours 22 as well. That's when I had my genetic testing in
Yep.
22. Yeah.
Yep. And they found more since
Mm.
then, more
Yeah.
markers. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, again, ladies, if no one haven't had a genetic testing, I have to hook up on that. Let me know. Put a message in the group chat or to me, and I can get that done for you for free. So let me know.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm plugged in with Morehouse School of Medicine, their little cancer research thing. So let me
Oh,
know.
oh yeah. Okay, I got questions about that. Awesome. Cool.
Cool,
Look,
cool,
I'm gonna try to remember.
I'll send you a text.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
If
know that
anybody
was
else
question.
got anything else to say? No questions?
No.
Then we can end this night and remember that you all are beautiful. Look in that mirror and affirm to yourself that you are beautiful. Seriously, beautiful. I don't care what you're going through. You better look in that mirror and say, I am beautiful. No matter what scars are on my body, I got my combat wound here from the port,
Mm-hmm.
combat wound under here, but I
Hmm.
don't let that get in the way because I'm beautiful. And
Okay, we showing scars.
that's, that's my scar. As you see, it's dark here. That's from radiation.
Hmm.
So it
Uh,
never went away. So, but you know what? I gotta live with it. As long as I affirm myself, I'm fine. Nobody
Right.
else
We
has
are
to,
alive and thriving. That's all
nobody
that
ever
matters.
has to affirm me because I'm gonna do it every day. So every day. Yeah. So with that, I'm gonna end this, but you don't have to hang up. I'm just gonna end it. Okay. Hold on.
I got a question for somebody. I'm sorry, I didn't catch her name. That just had reconstruction. She said about a year ago.
Who,
Yeah,
Tisha?
reconstruction in July.
Ooh, I'm waiting on her face to pop up.
I'm out.
What's your name?
That's
What's
Tish.
that?
Tisha?
Tisha.
Tisha?
Tisha. I know who you talking to.
Little the baby.
You the one that live in Florida, right?
No, I live in Georgia.
Oh, okay, no, not her then. So
No,
what
that's Zakira.
Zakara.
Yeah.
She's not on today.
Okay, okay,
She
okay.
didn't have restructuring. She didn't have anything done.
I know their faces look familiar. I didn't think she had anything really, but their faces to me for some
Yeah.
reason her face looks like her. But I had a question for you. Which reconstruction did you do?
I did the implant reconstruction.
Oh, okay, okay. And
I was looking at doing the deep flap, but I'll say for me, my personal choices, I just didn't feel like it would be conducive to like my work schedule and trying to get back to regular life and everything, like the downtime you would need. and the
Big
additional support.
seats.
I don't have that.
Yeah, I had it. The
Yeah, I don't have
downtime is
like
a mess.
I don't have all that. So
What was
I
the
just
difference in
chose
the
to do the
downtime?
Oh,
well,
what's the difference?
yeah, it's a difference like with the deep flap,
What's the
they
difference?
cutting you from hip to hip.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
reconstructing all of this where with the implants, they just opening your scars, they removing your tissue expanders, and they popping your implants in. They're gonna sew
And
you
you
up and
out.
send you home.
You're
Mm-hmm.
I
talking about
forgot
an hour
about
surgery
right.
versus
Yeah, you said
9,
Yeah,
It's
10
hospital.
12
hours.
hours because my
yeah.
surgery
Got
was 12 hours.
yours
Mine was
was?
12 hours. I
And
And
did
you
the
that's what
then
deep
Amber
flap.
said.
you gotta heal in both areas, and
From the
I
Mm-hmm.
ain't have
inside out.
time for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I
Which
got
one
you.
is better?
It's a
It's a
preference.
preference.
It's
Yeah.
It's
a
a
yeah, it's a
preference.
preference.
Yeah, because it's with me, I just didn't want to have a foreign
And my body
object
act
in my
funny with
body. I rather had my own tissue, but that's just a preference. Because even with you having the implants, it's the preference. People who just go flat. I know a friend who she had a single mastectomy, and now she's um, opting to take the other breast off, and she's just going to go flat. So it's just a preference on what what you can, I guess, live with and deal with. Because some people go flat and then later get reconstruction. So
Yeah.
no.
I
yeah,
can say I didn't want another battle scar,
yeah,
especially one that big.
yeah, because it's big.
Just just
It's long
reminded
and
me. So
big.
I was like, I'm just gonna stick with the two I got, and I'm gonna be I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Hmm.
I do have a friend. She had reconstruction like the same week I had reconstruction, and she chose to do the implants, and now she's going flat because her body's rejecting her implants.
That's what I'm
So
Exactly.
afraid of.
she's like, and
Hmm.
that's what I said. Like, if anything ever my body start rejecting it, I'm just gonna be flat because I
But
don't have time.
even with the deep flap, your body can reject
Reject
your
it.
tissue from there's some. So it's like it's a hit or miss. You really can't say because the doctor that I had, we have a group where all the women that African American, Indian, Asian, Caucasian, all of us different sizes, different ages, and you have all different stories. You had some people they had to go right back in for infections. And then you had some people like me that was smooth sailing, nothing was wrong, everything was good. So it's a hit or miss on all reconstruction.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for
Mhm.
me, I had the lumpectomy. My breast cancer was 1.8 centimeters. I removed it by lumpectomy, but then, a year later, I went and got the mastectomy. So after that is when I started getting all these post-operative complications. So my
Mhm.
first implants, after I went through the tissue expander process, I got the first implants put in, and my right boob decided that had cancer. It was rejecting it. I got capsular contracture, and that's when your body's rejecting it, is squeezing the implant, and it becomes hard. And it was like one was up here and one was down there. It squeezes it and pushes it up, and it just looks
Mhm.
so deformed. So I got that out and got them replaced. But I said if they was to ever go bad again, I don't think I would go flat, but I think I'll go with the D flap. But again, like with the D flap, I never really had a problem with the stomach. I know someone who said that, oh, I'm going to get mine done because, it's going to flatten my stomach. You know what I mean? So I didn't want that extra scar. And I thought that was vain of her, forgetting for that. You
Mhm.
could just got a liposuction and a tummy tuck. But to go through all of that. And another thing, I was terrified. Before I had my hysterectomy, I was terrified to get put to sleep. I really had never had any surgery. So, I got through that. That was 4 hours. Then my breast surgeries, the breast lumpectomy was just an hour. Implants was just like an hour,
Mhm.
hour and a half. And then the mastectomy was like 4 hours. And then to be sleep for 10, 11, 12 hours, I'm just so, I was terrified. I don't
Yeah.
think I could do it.
That's
Yeah,
how I
because
am
it.
about the plastics because I feel like since I had the mastectomy on the single and they removed so much muscle, that area
Mhm.
feels like I'm like an 8-year-old little boy. I can feel the
Mhm.
vibration in my chest when I talk that on that side of my body, and to think about adding a plastic silicone anything there,
Mm.
One of my girlfriends did it, and when I hug her, I feel like I'm hugging rocks. Like they got their own temperature.
Oh.
They got and they're new though. Hers are
Oh,
fairly
hers
new.
are brand new. They haven't
They haven't
settled yet.
really
Hmm.
conformed to
Well,
her
the rest of
body
my
yet.
body
Hmm.
will be hot, but
Girls
my
haven't
implants
dropped
are cold.
either.
That's what I
Right,
Yeah,
thought.
they're
right.
cold. They
Yeah.
it's never the same temperature.
Hmm.
Oh, and I thought that just freaks me out. And I've had 4 C-sections, so to get cut in the gut is like, when you need me to show up?
Right. But but then with the deep flap, what a lot of people don't know, and that's before I got my surgery, I started watching this young lady named your favorite PO. She's
I
here.
know who you talking
Her
Yeah.
on
about.
Yes,
YouTube.
Yes.
Brittany. Yeah, Brittany.
I've
And
been
me and
wanting to
my
see how she's
sister,
doing.
yeah, she's doing good. We talk all the time.
Man,
And
I've been wanting to see her. Yeah.
Brittany, me and my sister, we were just talking about this last night because she asked me, how was she doing? I told her, the different things she been doing. And we was talking about how when I was first thinking about the deep flap, we didn't know the ins and outs of it or how many surgeries you have to do again.
Uh-oh. Is that me?
Froze.
No, that's
Oh, okay. I'm like, is that me? Now, you know what was so favorite about the favorite PO that I thought is weird, speaking about what she's saying? They did that lady a D flap and did not leave her with a navel.
Let me ask you something. Now, everybody talk about these implants. Those implants that you get, are those the same ones that those stars get?
Yes.
So they don't have no feeling in their boobs either then.
No, they have feelings. We had
What?
our breast tissue removed.
Right? The
Right.
fat is
Oh,
So
gone.
they
The
they'll
just
have
muscle,
have
feeling.
it
that
stuck
that
underneath
pectoral.
there to
Yeah.
Yeah,
make
that
their
pectoral muscle is gone
Yeah,
in our
they
oh,
gut
chest.
us out and then give us
So
the
it's like a
implant.
hollow skinned area
Yes,
where with the famous people, they have the opportunity to have that plastic put on top of their muscle or underneath their muscle
yes,
as if it doesn't
Mhm.
exist.
oh,
We
okay.
don't have anything but skin
yes,
wrapping around with nothing to protect it. And you walk up and poke me, you'll be like, whoa, what was that? Because it's
right.
just there on the surface with some skin.
You know why? Because I have a friend, and you see, Tequila's how you said you had that one breast. She had one too, and she was
Mhm.
like, "When you hugged me, you didn't feel anything different." I was like, "No."
Yeah, yeah.
And she
I say
was
the same thing to people.
pregnant. She was pregnant when she found out she had breast cancer. And she
Oh,
told them, she's not doing anything. You give me a new breast, and that's it. I'm not taking radiation. I'm not taking chemo. Her daughter's 21 years old. Okay.
okay, okay. I
Not
love
doing
it.
anything. Yeah.
Well, I
She,
know for me, oh, go ahead, Fran.
no, go ahead.
For me, I don't even like hugs. It feels so weird for someone to just, anytime somebody comes too close to me, I'm like this. Like it just, you can feel them pressing against your chest wall. It just, if I turn over
Oh,
in bed and lay on my stomach, it feel like I'm laying on some bricks or something.
so it's
Right.
like
They be
Okay.
so
hollow
hard
here.
because they be pressing all hard on you. Like, oh my
I'm
God,
hollow. I'm
can you
hollow,
kind of
like she
give me
said.
It's,
room?
it's,
Step back a
it
little
then this is
bit.
hollow. This
Yes,
is
I'm
all
hollow
hollow
with
up
no
here.
Yeah.
chest because I don't
There's
have anything
nothing
over
there.
here. I'm hollow over here, right? So
Mhm.
I'm with y'all on that. Is that I almost feel like people are in my body
Yeah, because
when
they
they
be
hug
Yes.
me.
pressing all hard. And I know they don't be meaning any harm because sometimes they hug you like in their mind, oh my God, I'm just so thankful. But it's almost like, oh my God, can you
Let me
back up
go.
a little bit?
Mm.
Just
You know, it
You have to
even
hit them with
when
that
I
back
had
church
up a
my
little
hug.
bit.
yes,
I church hug you real quick.
I'm a
I'm like,
walking
basically,
stop
there you go.
sign. Anybody get too close, my hand automatically goes up.
that's
Yeah.
so funny. And you know what's funny? Not having this breast over here, I didn't really realize the aesthetics because I even found myself changing my posture because I wanted to protect that area.
Hmm.
And I started to walk kind of with a slouch
Hmm.
because I'm like, no, I'm afraid of nothing now, just being exposed. I feel naked over here. And so I had
Hmm.
to start going to therapy to straighten out my body because they did
Hmm.
say that women who have one breast, they even fall more often.
Yeah.
They have
Hmm.
more accidents because you're no longer symmetrically balanced.
Oh,
That
okay.
makes sense. It
Yeah.
That
makes
does. That makes perfect
it makes
sense.
a
I
lot
was
of
just like,
sense.
wow. And I ain't even a whole B flat. I was like, really?
Wow.
I know I had froze earlier when I was talking about the deep flap with the dog
I was saying
ears.
the girl with the PO was missing her navel.
Yes, that's that was the funniest thing.
That
Me
was
and
the
my
weirdest thing
sister,
I ever saw.
yes, we was sitting there and we was watching. It was before I even had the double mastectomy. And we was looking and my sister was like, well, what is she saying she missing? What is she? And
Her
we did not even realize until she said it. And we was like, oh man. But her story helped me when I went to my
Me too.
plastic surgeon. I said, okay,
Is
when
this
you do
somebody
the
on
D
TikTok
flap, am
or
I gonna
She on
have a
YouTube.
navel? And
oh,
he
she's
was
on
like, what you mean are
YouTube?
you gonna have a navel? I'm like, I'm just asking. When you pull down my skin, am I gonna have a navel? And he said,
Hit the belly
yes.
button.
He was
Hold
like,
up, I gotta
yes,
go on
I'm
mute. You
gonna
gonna make me
pull.
talk on my.
Yeah, he literally demonstrated what the surgery is and how he's gonna reform my my belly button, my
So
neck. I said, I'm
yours
just
is
making
from
sure. This me, I'm
Tamika,
just making
yours,
sure.
your breast implant is from your own skin.
Yes.
Yes, that's what the D
Okay.
Yes.
flap is. It's
Yes,
your
that's
own
what the
tummy.
deep flap. It's my fat from my stomach is here.
Is that the probability of why you have sensation, whereas somebody that does the silicone, they don't have any sensation because it's your
Nah,
own skin?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't
No?
necessarily. That's necessarily so.
Oh,
No,
Yeah,
no. Mm-mm.
because
okay.
I don't
Because
have
even
sensation.
some that
I don't
that has the deep flap don't have
have,
sensation
and
anymore.
I've
So,
had four
mm,
C-sections, and I don't have sensation in my stomach area still,
mm.
and they're intending to use that same skin.
Yeah. See, the stomach
Oh,
area, I definitely don't have any sensation in my stomach area. But here I do. I do have in my breast now.
really?
But my stomach area, like you said, is completely numb. I felt the tattoo, but not as much if I would have not had the deep flap.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is funny is they do the D flap, but they don't contour you unless you
Mm-hmm.
ask for that. So if you're heavier,
Exactly.
you can end up with a muffin top with a big scar.
Exactly. Exactly.
So they call it a panilectomy. That's what they call it, a
Yes.
panilectomy, because
Mm-hmm.
it's a tummy tuck without the tuck. It's a
Mm-hmm.
tummy
Oh,
tuck
Mm-hmm.
without the tuck.
Yeah.
And so that scar is very, like she said, it's weird and it's
Mm-hmm.
very visible because it does have to go right to left because they're also trying to make a size A, B, C, D, whatever you want
Mm-hmm.
out of that breast.
well,
And
Right.
so
so,
they ask you what size you want your breast?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. When you go
Hmm.
into the for consultation, that's the first thing they ask. What are you looking for in your reconstruction? My doctor he asked me, did I want implants? Did I want deep flap? Did I want I think it's the ram flap where they do the back, or
It's
did I
called
want
a
the thigh?
tram. It's a
Tram.
tram flap.
Hmm.
So he gave me all options, and I said, "Well, I definitely don't want implants. So what am my?" He said, "Well, it depends on what size you're trying to be." So I was an A cup. So I told him I didn't want to be so far in. So I said maybe a nice B or a nice C. So he had me to stand up, and at that time I had, a little pouch on my stomach. So he asked me to bend over, and he just did my stomach like this. He was like, "Yeah, that's enough." He was like, "That's enough to give you exactly what you're asking for." He said, "But
Wow.
if you would have asked for a D, because he said it's people coming there asking for a D cup or F cup, want to be so large." And he said, if you don't have the fat for it, that's when they put sometime at the implant with your own tissue to
And believe
make
it or
you the
not, they can take
size
it
that
from under
you want
your
to be. Hmm.
they'll take it from under your booty cheeks.
Yes,
Right.
yes,
And
yes.
unlike Tamika, when I was choosing my implants, so my breast size was like just a regular size
Mm,
B,
so
just
Mhm.
average. And he said, "So what size do you want to go?" I said, "Throw some D's on it." And
because I want to be Dolly
so
Parton, baby.
no, but they did. But you know what? If you look on my Instagram page, you see when I show the implants when I'm just coming out of surgery, they didn't
Mhm.
look bad on me, because I'm already kind of like curvy. It kind of fit my body, and he encouraged me. He said, "Yeah, the D's will look good on you," and I like the D's, but those is that's the one that I got the capsular contracture from. So
Mhm.
when I had to get them removed, and he said that because they probably were too big too, so let's go down a little bit. So now I'm just a regular C cup. But because I never had a big breast, I didn't want to have both. So I said, just give me a little something, something, But yeah,
Mhm.
if I have to
Mhm.
get them done over again, Put those D's back on.
You want the D's back on it, huh?
The double D prior to my surgery. So I told them, give me back what I gave you. That's what I want. I want what I gave you. Nothing more,
What?
nothing less. So I have their largest implant, which is 800 cc's. And to me, it don't look like super big.
Mhm.
Not on me, not on
That's
my
You
body.
because you
got
don't
Did
back
they
have
do a
what
that
lift?
you
tissue
got
in
back what
there.
Don't
you
they do a lift
lost.
too?
Say again.
You got back what you lost, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't like tried on a regular bra just because they haven't dropped yet. So
Oh,
But
they
don't they
have to
do a
drop.
lift?
they have to drop.
Oh,
Like
you
mine's
don't need
like
to.
the end of it is like sitting here at like right
Oh
under my
wow.
collarbone. So they have to drop into the pocket.
Gotcha.
They
Okay.
they
Yeah.
they do
And see,
have to
like,
drop.
Oh, wow.
go
You
ahead,
want to
And
Zane.
you
drop
know,
Zaynab?
so for me, even after like going back down to like a regular C, because even when I was a B cup, I would always buy C's that were padded, to make
Mhm.
me look a little more.
Me
But
too.
after they gave me a C cup, like these are not C's. My bras don't fit. I have so many beautiful bras I can't even wear because they don't
Mm.
fit the same. It's not regular breast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
Tisha, yours, you told them to give you the same size. It's not going to look the same because remember, all your tissue is outside of, I mean, taken out. So you just
Mhm.
have those implants in there. Had you had that tissue or muscle to push them out a little bit more, so it's not
But
going to look the
you
same.
ladies,
And
you
it's,
can still wear a bra.
huh?
You don't have
Still
to
wear
though. I
bras.
thought that
Yeah,
they
we
did
don't
a
have
lift.
Yeah,
to.
sports
They did a
bra.
lift.
I
They're
don't
uncomfortable to
it
me.
depends on what I'm wearing. Now, if I'm wearing a nice tank top or a halter in it, no. But
Really?
like what I got on now, I do have on a bra now, but I don't wear underwire bras anymore.
Can I
I
ask you this? Did
don't.
you do nipple sparring surgery?
Oh, she
No,
said that part. Tell
no,
her
No,
what you did.
no.
no.
And I
That
was
don't save
going
your
to,
breast either
yeah.
because I had nipple sparing
Hmm.
and 3 days later I was back in. That was one of my other post-operative complications. I had to go back in because the right nipple was dying. He gave me some, I forget what it was called, but it didn't save the nipple. It started turning purple, then black.
Hmm.
And then I said, if you're going to remove one, just remove both of them.
Both of them.
So that's a risk. Nipple sparing does not spare your nipple
Yeah,
Oh,
altogether.
so
that's
they
what I
can
was
actually
told.
save the nipple if
Yes,
but
Yep.
I
they
guess
can
it's dead
save it.
skin.
Yeah, they can save it. I
They
know
can
mine
save
was
it.
not nipple sparing, so I'm walking
Yeah.
around with two blank balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I did. I didn't opt to do the nipple. I wanted to, but then when they explained to me why I shouldn't, I just went on and said, okay.
Because
But I know they
it
can
would be
re
dead skin you're putting back on you, right?
yes, they say it's the same. They say it's like the nurse explained to me. She said, okay, you're moving your breast tissue, but you're putting your nipple back, which has the same breast tissue that you just took
Right.
out. What is the purpose of doing that? Because you're only putting yourself back at risk. So I'm
And
That
like,
makes sense.
I said
and
that
I
made
followed a
perfect
lady.
sense. Mm-hmm.
She was the three-time breast cancer survivor, and
Mm-hmm.
her 2 times it was in her breast, and the third time it was on the nipple that was a part of the nipple sparing surgery.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so they told me my breast cancer, because my lump was 5 over 5 centimeters. It was like
Mm-hmm.
9. So
Mm-hmm.
they said there was no way I could save mine, that I could even try to save it, because I would have wanted to not even know it before I knew what happened to that lady
Mm-hmm.
with the issue, because I never would have thought that it could come back and be, or those cells would affect your nipple, to say the least.
Well,
Now,
that's
I'm
good to
surprised to know
know.
that you got to wear a bra. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You
Yeah.
see, this is why this group is very important
Yes.
because a lot of people
Yes.
don't
Right.
know what you're saying,
Yeah. Because even
especially
with the
me, because
mm-hmm.
I always ask Zaynab, explain this to me about this breast implant stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell you I'm always asking.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked Tisha because I want to know because I didn't have a breast implant. I just got put
Mhm.
on breast, but it's all right. But I wanted to understand exactly what you went through because I hear Zaynab this D flap, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And she has to go and explain it to me because
So
I don't that language, it doesn't make sense to me because I don't know anything about it.
I
Yeah.
got a
Mhm.
question for Zainab and for you, Tamika. Did
Mhm.
either one of y'all have to have after reconstruction in whatever form of it that you did, because I know one of y'all did plastic and Tisha too, but I know Tisha, you probably still too early in the game. But
Didn't
have y'all had
Brandy,
to
you
have
had
any
implants too, right?
who?
Yeah, just
Brand,
one on the.
Oh, Brandy had. I didn't even know she was on her. Did she
yeah,
have implants?
Brandy had them too, and all four of you.
Oh wow. Okay, so did any of y'all have to have fat like added for volume?
Yeah,
That's what I
I
did for the
did.
revision,
Oh,
I
for my
did.
revision.
For like the initial swap, they did like fat transfer, but they don't. I guess my doctor didn't do enough to where it was noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
So I was like a noticeable difference like in your abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I'm pretty sure I'll be going back for some revisions. So
Yeah, that
mm,
was I only had one revision. I'm gonna go back eventually. I ain't rushing it because I don't want to go
yeah.
back under anesthesia no time soon. But I did have the revision where one side they took off the dog ear, the other side they just lipo. With the lipo, that's where they added the extra volume at the top of my breast.
that dog girl pisses me off. Oh,
Yeah, that dog is something else because even
that is
now,
something.
the
So
side that
explain
they
to me,
did
what is
the
this dog ear? I told you I don't know nothing about
When you
dog.
land, so when you having that surgery, right, you gotta
Mhm.
lay on your back flat.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And when they cut you, if you a woman with a little, little bit of love on you,
Mhm.
that
The
all
love
of that
handle.
gravity is going to lay flat. So when they cut, they don't pick up that skin to measure it to make sure that when you stand up, none of that under your arm is hanging.
Oh, you
So
mean
now
this
you
thing? This, that
This
thing?
no,
What
no,
on
no,
like
no, no, no.
it's like
We talking
here.
Oh,
about
under
the
here.
both
yeah.
where
Here.
the
both
dog
Yeah.
ear, the dog ear that I'm referring to is on the cut of the abdomen. So on
oh,
your
that one
side,
too.
yeah,
That one
on your
too.
side, it looks like skin like this,
You mean the
like it's
love
Mm.
handles?
wagging,
Oh
like
It's called
ears.
wow.
love handles on the side?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
looks like it don't even look like a love handle. It literally look like skin that's doing
It looked
this
like a
because you can
monkeypox.
Oh,
hit it. You can hit
oh.
it and it'll flap. So,
Oh.
but
Hmm.
it's one of my sides. It was noticeable. The other side wasn't as noticeable until we did the lipo. Now that side is noticeable compared to the other side. So that's where I said, well, I'll probably go back and do revision number two. But the difference between when you're doing the dog ears, they can actually do that in the office. There's no anesthesia or anything. They could just cut it, sew it up, you good. But if you're trying to
Okay.
get lipo, you gotta go under to get
Okay.
the fat sucked out. And they
What
will
about
take
the
the
fat
fat
up
and
here though?
add it. Hmm?
Like, what about the fat volume? I think about like the fat, cause like Tisha and what's the other young lady's name? Brenda, is it? What's the other lady?
Brandy?
Brandy.
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 Like they both and Zainab, like y'all all had plastic. So you know how like I guess the way Tisha described, she said hers is up here right now. So they haven't technically done the natural life drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and I think Tamika, you understand, I guess, with this since it's natural. I'm curious about, you know how y'all have how as women we have that fullness to where we get that cleavage
Mm-hmm.
on that top fat. Has anybody had to have that fat up here or that fat right here in them areas filled in?
I didn't have to.
That's
Mine is fully filled in, like
Okay.
all the way. My thing is just it's just like they look different. They don't look the same. This
Okay.
one, when I had to capsular contracture because it was all the way up here, he
mm-hmm.
had to lower it. So when he took them out and put them in, he lowered this one, but he lowered it too far, and I can feel it sitting right on the top of my rib cage. So it's still a little
Mm,
bit lower.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So with the when they did my lipo, they added more fat on this side. So
That's
when you actually see when I'm in the with my bra on, you can see my cleavage and you can't tell. But when I take the bra off, you can tell I need a little bit more fat added on this side.
that's what I'm wondering about. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you
Okay.
can see, you can tell the difference from when you putting on the bra, you can't, when the bra is on, you can't tell it. When you take the bra off, my right breast is a little, just a tad, you can literally see it's like a tad bit smaller than this one, and it's more so in the volume area at the
Oh,
top part of the breast.
Yeah, same
And you know
here.
Mhm.
what?
That's
Oh,
the
go
same
ahead.
thing for you, Brandy?
Yeah,
Mhm.
like a little
Mhm.
piece.
Yeah, it's just like a little pocket where they just need to put a little bit more, just a
So,
little bit more to make
so
it.
for me, because this
Mhm.
one is lower, when I
Mhm.
put a bra on, I tighten the strap a little bit on this side to lift
Mhm.
this one up. So this
Mhm.
one is like super tight over here, the bra
Mhm.
strap, but it's,
Mhm.
it kind of even them out because I can tell the difference in shirts.
Now, see, and
Mhm.
I didn't have
Mhm.
a mastectomy, and I'm lifting this up so it could be up with this one.
Mhm.
All the time.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that reconstruction, boy, it's tedious and it's very interesting. I had someone just tell me last week. I didn't even know we did the same reconstruction, but I didn't know she did nipple. They created her some new nipples, and I was like, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, I got me some nipples." And she said they took the fat from her, a little bit of fat from her thighs, and they created it and put them on, and she got nipples.
Oh,
And they do not look like
When I got
nipples.
my
They
implants, they were
right,
talking
that part.
about
They don't look like
recreating.
They
nipples.
don't.
Right, right.
When I
But
got
she
mine, they were
Tissues
talking
stay
about
most
recreating
thoroughly.
my nipples, but like the ones that, like, of course, I didn't see any examples of women of color. So
mm,
I'm looking online, and to me, it's like, y'all not about to have my nipples mix match, and then
right.
like they
Like
be
one
like
up
this
here, one down
big.
here.
They don't
Right.
even be like normal size. They look like you just rolled up a piece of paper and stuck it on there.
Right.
And
And I
what's
was
the point? You
like,
still can't feel nothing.
right.
Just for aesthetics.
Exactly.
They have prosthetic nipples, that
Mm-hmm.
you can just glue on. You can get in the
I was
shower.
looking for some
You can
peel
get
and stick ones.
they
Yes.
got them.
no, you don't got to
Amazon
peel and
have them
stick.
all
They
day
got this
long.
medical grade glue, and you can find them to match your skin color. The medical grade glue, they will stay on, and they look more like nipples. If you want them to poke
I
through your
got some in
shirt,
my closet waiting on my reconstruction now because I was gonna put some little
and
rings.
they won't come
Yes.
off when you're sweating in the shower
Mhm.
or working out. They'll stay on for a little over a week, and you just apply the medical glue again and place them, evenly.
Zay, now we gonna
Right.
give you a job with the breast cancer people.
Huh?
We gonna get you a job with the breast cancer people
No,
so you
you're not. I'm still
Sure.
breast cancer.
yeah.
I did not know they was making them now though. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to ask the
Yeah.
doctor about that.
Yeah. You can, it's literally taking some skin, like you said, it's just rolling it up
Yep.
and
And sticking
diving
it on
and
there.
That's
sewing
what
it
it
up
looked like
on
this
your
was
chest. That's
it
it.
was rolled up and sewed right there. What's the
Yeah.
point? It has
That
no
sounds
feeling. It has
disgusting though.
It's
The
just
no
way y'all
feeling, no
saying like
nothing.
it's
It's just
rolled
the,
up.
it's
it
just the
really looked
look.
like they put a raisin.
Yes. Yes.
Oh hell no!
Exactly. That's
Oh no! I
exactly
want
what it
that.
looks like.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my god! I don't know if I
Yes.
want that, but
Yes.
I'm going to inquire now because that's
And see
exactly what
that that's why I just did the areola tattoo because I was like, nah, I'm not playing around like that. Just give me a little, give me something that's similar
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
look.
Get the tattoo, and if you need to wear something, and normally your nipples would show, just get the
Mhm.
prosthetic nipples. I
And
wouldn't
just
bother
be,
with getting the raisin sewed on.
I
It
no,
looked
it
dumb.
looks
It
a
don't even look
mess.
like
It looks a
nipples.
mess.
It looked
It
like
looks
a waste of space.
Yes.
time.
say I need to look
Jesus.
that
All right. Well, I'm going to end this, ladies, and we'll
Yes,
be
ma'am.
back next month. Yeah.
Okay.
Every second, what's it? Every second Thursday. This was
Thursday.
Zainab's thing. Every second Thursday, right, Zainab?
Yeah.
This is your podcast. I'm the
I know,
co-host.
but you help you help me get it together. So
Mhm.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well, it's
Don't
been real,
you don't want
lady.
me to give her flowers while she's on here, but I'm giving them to you because you're the one that helped. Yeah.
Well, has
Mhm.
anybody
Yeah.
heard from Miss Angie though by chance?
No,
Oh
haven't
no.
checked on her.
No, not since she put something in the group. That's it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
but
ladies, it was nice
I'll
to
touch
meet you,
bases
Brandy
with
and
her.
Tisha too.
To meet all y'all again.
Yes,
Okay.
it
Nice
was
meeting
nice
you,
seeing
Nice
y'all
Brandy.
meeting you,
Oh
again.
yeah,
Tequila.
Brandy. You didn't meet everybody, but now you met them. So now you got some new sisters here.
Right,
Mhm.
It's
right.
only one of us missing. That's Akira.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kira and Angie.
Yeah,
I
Mhm.
just
Angie.
yeah, and Chanel. She's
Yeah,
off.
Chanel was on, but
Yes.
she got off.
Yeah,
Yes.
she
So,
got on. So that's who's here.
is
So
Mhm.
that
like I said,
Zakira who was having some new testing? I thought I
yes,
read about.
Yes.
Yes.
that
Yes.
was the Kira. So we'll keep her in our prayers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
All
y'all
right.
have a good
Alrighty,
one.
ladies.
All
Good
right. Well,
seeing your
thank
beautiful
y'all.
faces
It was good
again.
to see y'all
Have a
All
again.
good
righty. Have a
night.
good night, a good week. And until we meet again, we'll talk in the chat. If you have
All right,
any
y'all. Be safe.
questions,
All
be
right,
Yes,
you
safe.
too. Bye
y'all.
bye.
Have a
All right.
good one.
Okay. All
Bye.
righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye.